Hi, welcome to Comics with Dan. I'm Dan Starseski. This video is the first in a weekly series about new comics that are coming out this week. Things for you guys to check out and see if you're interested in. The format's going to be I'll try to have a selection for each of the major publishers, DC, Marvel, Image, and then also some for Boom, IDW, Dynamite, those sort of things. And I'd like to try to pick one that's not in any of those larger publishers as well. My first selection is for DC. This coming out this week is Red Hood the Hill #1. Number 0 came out last week, which was a collection of stories from that came out almost 4 years ago. And I haven't read those stories, but it does look like an interesting premise. I like the idea of Red Hood having sort of his own neighborhood to protect, instead of sort of being an overarching, Gotham vigilante. Sean Martinborough's writing. Sanford Green is on art. I didn't care too much for Green's work on Black Manta a few years back, but from what I can tell, his art in Bitterroot is really fantastic. I haven't had a chance to read that yet either, but that's definitely on my TBR. I really hope that we get Artemis and Bizarro cameos in this, or even more of an active role, just because I really love the Rebirth, Red Hood and the Outlaws series. It's one of my favorites from that era, and I think it could be really interesting considering what's going on with the Amazons in Wonder Woman. And even though I haven't read Action Comics, I know Bizarro is being featured in Action Comics in the past few issues, so it could be interesting to see what's going on with him over there. My pick for Marvel this week, I don't generally pull a lot of Marvel books, but my pick is Vengeance of the Moon Knight #2. I've read a little bit of Moon Knight. I have not read #1, but the reviews are glowing. I haven't seen a single bad review for it. It's got 4.5 stars on League of Comic Geeks, so I think it was really well received, and so I think #2 might be a good spot to kind of try to pick it up. My understanding is that this is not Mark Spector, as he died in Moon Knight #30 and has not been resurrected yet. The David Finch covers are really cool in this series. You should go check them out. And I've got one displayed here. I really enjoyed his work on Tom King's Batman, and his covers here are awesome. And like I said, so since it's only #2, it could be an easy one to catch up on, trying to find that first issue and get caught up. Jed MacKay's writing, Alessandro Cappuccio and Rachel Rosenberg on art, and Corey Pettit on letters. So another recurring theme in this series is going to be me butchering creators' names, but doing my best to try not to. My pick for Image this week is Transformers #5. This one's the only one of these books that's actually on my pull list currently, but I can't speak highly enough of how this series has been so far. It's the penultimate issue for this arc, with #6 closing out the arc and ending Daniel Warren Johnson's time on art for the series. Jorge Corona is going to take over on the art after this, which you might recognize his work from the recent Batgirl series, and a few other things. He seems like the perfect choice to take over, as I think his style will really seamlessly transition after DWJ is done. I was a little worried that this book would get carried by nostalgia, just because everybody loves the old '80s cartoon, and all the great all the IDW books over the years, and of course obviously the Marvel series from back in the '80s. But this book is definitely standing tall on its own. There's no, it's not solely relying on nostalgia to carry it or to make it interesting. It's a really great series in and of itself. So Daniel Warren Johnson, as I said, is the writer and artist. Mike Spicer's on the colors, and Russ Wooten on the letters. My pick for Boom Studios this week is The Displaced #1. It's book 1 of a 5-book miniseries, and looks really interesting. It's about the city of Oshawa, Ontario, disappearing, and no one remembers that it ever existed. And it deals with how the survivors handle that. And the residents of that city. I looked it up, and the city is a real city, and it still exists, which is good because that means that it hasn't actually vanished. The writer Ed Brisson, who I really only know from his time on Batman Incorporated. Artists are Luca Casalanguida and D. Cuniff. So that one looks like, if I can find a copy of it, since it's not on my pull list, if I can find a copy, I'm definitely going to be picking it up and checking it out. I don't have any picks for Dark Horse, Dynamite, or IDW this week. None of them seem to be anything that really catches my attention. But I did notice that there's sort of a resurgence of the Gold Key comics from quite a bit ago. But there's Western Publishing is doing Boris Karloff's Gold Key Mysteries. It's a horror anthology, and having just read Dracula for the first time this past fall, it really, really piqued my interest. I had meant to check out number one. Number two is coming out this week. I meant to check out number one in October, but it slipped my mind. It seems a bit unsure as to how often it's going to come out, since the first one was in October and the next one was in February. This one's in February. The first issue got some mixed reviews, but I still think it looks like it's probably worth checking out, and the anthology side of it will hopefully make it so that even if one issue might not be as strong, then the next could still be, just as good. The creators include Michael Conrad, Matt Harding, Craig Rasmussen, Keith Everett, and Kelly Williams. So check that one out too. I'll be trying to get myself a copy of that one as well. Those are all the new books coming out this week. If you have any other suggestions for me to comment on or talk about, or possibly any suggestions for me to highlight next week, just drop it in the comments. If you're liking the content that you're seeing on the channel, please make sure to subscribe, like the videos, try to spread them around as much as you possibly can. I really just like doing this because I like talking about comic books with people and about comic books to people, and just want everyone to get involved in this great hobby that I've found myself infatuated with. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.